Okay, class, today we will be discussing two types of probabilities. The very first one is called experimental probability, and for my math model students, it's known as empirical, but it's the same thing, experimental probability or empirical probability. And basically what experimental probability is basically when you gather data from an experiment. Okay, so you're making observations using an experiment to gather the data. Okay, the second one, theoretical probability, you do not conduct an experiment. It's simply the what you expect to happen. Okay, what is expected. Okay, so let's begin with the first one. Okay, experimental probability. So here, the table shows the results of an experiment in which 3 coins were tossed. So just picture that you have 3 coins in your hand and you toss those coins. Okay, here are the possible outcomes. Outcome simply means what can happen. And the outcomes, there's 8 different types of outcomes. You could get 3 heads, 2 heads and a tail, 2 heads and a tail and 2 heads, 2 tails a head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, tail, or you could get 3 tails. So these are the possible outcomes that can happen. Okay, now the tally and the frequency are the number of times that this occurred. Okay, so for example, this person did this experiment and tossed the coin several times. 5 times this person got 3 tails, 5 times got 2 tails and 2 heads and a tail. Here they got 6 times 2 heads and a tail, and so on. Okay, you can look at the table and determine the rest. So for experimental probability, you're going to create a fraction, and on the bottom of the fraction you have the total number of outcomes. Okay, so how many different outcomes are there? And again, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 different outcomes. Okay, so to get the experimental probability, for experimental probability, we have to add the total number of the frequency or the results. Okay, so what I would do is I would add 5 plus 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7 plus 5 plus 8 plus 8, and my total is 50. Okay, class? So the total number is 50. So there were 50 trials. That means that you toss those coins 50 times. Okay, so because 50 is my total, then 50 will go on my denominator. Okay, 50. There we go. So now on the top you put the favorable events. In other words, how many times did you get at least 2 tails from the coins? So looking at my columns, do I have at least 2 tails here? No. Here? No. Here? No. Here? No. Here? Yes. I'm gonna put a little check mark right there. You got 2 tails and a head. Here 2 tails? Yes. Here 2 tails? Yes. You got 1 head and 2 tails. So that's a favorable event. And on the very last one, I got 3 heads. But that counts because remember the question said at least 2 of the 3 coins were tails. So 3 tails is at least 2. At least 2. Okay? So then what I will do is I will add the frequency. Okay? I will add 7 plus 5 plus 8 plus 8. Okay? So again, you would do 7 plus 5 plus 8 plus 8. And that gives you a total of 28. So 28, I'm sorry for my writing, by the way. 28 goes on the top. Okay? 28 goes on the top. Okay, so 28 over 50 will reduce to 14 over 25. Okay? Again, sorry for my handwriting. 14 over 25. But now, if we read the question again, it does tell us to write the answers as a percent. So to get the final answer, what you would do is you would pick up a calculator and do 14 divided by 25, which gives you 0.56. So, okay, so this gives you 0.56. But because they want it as a decimal, you move the decimal twice to the right. Okay, so once you move the decimal twice to the right, you will get 56% for an answer. Again, I do apologize for my writing. 56%. So that is the answer for experimental probability. Okay, class, so now we will be looking at theoretical probability. Theoretical probability means, what do you expect to happen? What do you expect? So theoretical probability, you do not use the information from this experiment. It's in theory what should happen. So in this case, what I would do is actually look at the outcomes. Okay, for this type of probability, we look at the outcomes and you ask yourself, okay, what is my total number of outcomes? And then you count the columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 different outcomes. From those outcomes, just looking at the outcomes, how many of those are at least 2 tails? So again, we look here, we look at these 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. 4 columns, okay? So 4 over 8 is the answer. And I know most people are going to think theoretical is easier, and it probably is. So it's 4 over 8, which reduces to 1/2. So if you use your calculator and you do 1 divided by 2, you will get 0.5. But again, they do want the answers to decimal. So you move the decimal twice to the right, and this becomes 50%. Okay, 50%. So if this video will be here, so you can reference the video back. If you need more help, you can look at the next example that I have another example, another video. But if you understood this video, then go ahead and work on the assignment, okay? But there will be an additional video for those people that need more help. In addition to that, I have also added a link of notes. So if you need some notes, click on the link, read those notes, and that'll help you, okay? And again, if you need more assistance, watch the other video or join whoever your teacher is during their office hours, so they can solve any issues that you have, okay? Well, thank you so much. Have a good day.